Alright, so I know I've been off YouTube for a minute, but there's been a lot of things going on, so I started realizing that my subscribers were going up. Keep that up. Thank y'all for doing that. And I was realizing that my views were starting to go up and more people were starting to comment. So I like to say that I appreciate the things that you guys are doing. Keep it up. Thank you and be blessed. Alright, so now a lot of people have been coming up in my comments talking about that they want to see some reviews on some heads and reviews on pads and drums and stuff. And someone today came up to me and commented and said that they wanted to see a Cadence for beginners. Now, the school I go to, which is Suitland High School in Maryland, our cadences aren't really all choppy and really advanced. They're kind of basic. So I'm gonna show you this one little cadence that we would do while we're marching and all that stuff. It's just really short. So yeah, I will show that to you, and maybe I'll show you some cadences from some colleges. Now, this cadence that I'm about to show you right now is called Scandalous. It's originally performed by Howard University, but we're gonna we had a watered down version a little bit because theirs was a little more choppy and it had a little bit more rhythm and groove to it. So I'm gonna show you how to play that. So with the beginning part, it's just two little stick tricks. It's this, I don't know what it's called, it's this and a pancake twirl. So while you're doing that, you're gonna do 2 counts of rolls, basically. You're gonna do a little double stroke. That. So that's how it goes. And when you put it together, like with the stick tricks and then with the sticking and the playing, it's gonna go like this. And then you're gonna add about like 2 or 3 paradiddles, and if you could count it, just count the paradiddles. So yeah, it's gonna go, and then it's gonna have that last hit on the end on the left. So when you put all of it together in those little bars, it's gonna go like this. I forgot to mention that you repeat those 2 bars after you do it the first time. So after those 2 bars, it's just a little snare break. It's a little snare solo. This is for like your whole drum line, but this is for the snare version. So for all the snare drums out there that are in your drum lines, and if you're like beginners somewhat, then come up to like your director or your snare line and be like, hey, I got a new cadence for us. And then after I show you the snare break, I'll show you the bass breaks and the cymbals and quints and all that. But in a little bit of time, because I don't have all of that right now. So yeah. So after those little breakdowns, there's the snare solo. So after you do that, it goes like this. So that's the snare solo, but in the midst of that snare solo, that's when the bass drums and the cymbals and the quints are gonna come in. But the cymbals are already gonna be playing. They're gonna be playing a little chit, chit, chit. They're gonna be playing those simple hits. But in the midst of that, the bass drums are gonna come in with boom, 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 gradually getting louder, doing a crescendo, and then boom, 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 boom. That's the bass drums. So now, then after that part, it's just gonna be single, like 2 4s for the snare drums. So after that little breakdown, So then, that's when we go into the second breakdown where all the chanting and dancing and all the choreography comes in. So basically, after that, that little roll passage is gonna go like. And then everybody in the band says, whoop, whoop, we scandalous. And that's how it goes. But then the quints have a little solo. And it's just a little roll from the bottom to the top. So it's like, from 4, 3, 2, 1. It goes like that. And that's how easy it goes. So, after that little quint solo, that's how everything gets started. And then the quints get just wild out and whatever they want to do. And then the snare drummers just have a quick little, that's all that they got. That's basically it for the snare drums. So the snare drums, that's just basically all of the components that you need for that cadence. And I'm gonna play the whole thing for you one more time. You can add stick tricks in there if you want to, but just make sure while you're marching you can't just do all the wild stick tricks and stuff like that, because then you're gonna end up dropping your sticks. And this is a marching cadence, an entrance cadence, marching cadence, tunnel cadence, whatever cadence you want to make it into. It's basically a party cadence. It's something that you can just do wildly, whatever, when you have the time and stuff. So while you're doing that, you can like just make it into however you want to. So yeah. And in that part, there's a bass split. So it's a so yeah. But if you have about 3 basses or more, you can go from top to bottom to top if you have a little bit. But in my band, we only had 3 bass drums, so we could do 2. So it's and that was it. But we did what we could, basically. So yeah, that's what you could do. And then you go right into that breakdown. And then that's the quint solo, and then we're gonna add some singles into it. And then it starts all over again. So that's basically the snare part, and you can add, I'll teach you all the rest of the parts in a minute, but that's basically the snare part. Since I have that right now, and that's the what I can basically teach you. Now, for the steps in that cadence, when you hit the breakdown, when you go to the whoop whoop we scandalous thing, it's basically a jumping pattern. It's a jumping pattern. So like, it's like you're jumping to the left, jumping to the right, jumping up front, then jumping back. And you're gonna keep doing that until after you get to that singles passage, and then you redo it. So when you do it, it's basically and you have to nod your head at the same time. So it's left, right, up, back. And that's what everyone in the band does. Even if you're a bass drum, cymbals, everybody in the band does that. But everybody in the band has to chant out that chant. So, in a minute, or in a while, I'll show you all of the rest of the parts for this cadence, and then there you go. There you have Scandalous. But this is the snare part. Remember, this is the snare feature for the for Scandalous. So I would like to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for viewing, and I hope that you guys will subscribe, share, like, comment, anything that you would want to do. Help me out, and I will help you. I will be on the comments if you have any questions or any concerns. criticism, any of that. I'm always in the comments. So, thank you guys. Love you guys. Be blessed.